Big things. The award-winning, Josie award-winning Ocean's Pit. Hope you guys are doing great today. It's beautiful. It's another great day for the month of November. But you know what? I like a little cold. I like a little snow. I like the holiday. Now that the holidays are coming, I'm excited about that. And I hope you guys are getting ready and I hope you guys are having a great day. Check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, and give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show, folks. Every show is dedicated to the first responders. And mostly thank you for what you men and women do, but also it's dedicated to every guy and gal that watches the show every day during your lunch hour, or if you're watching it any other time during the day. On the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page, we're on the Mo Carraro Facebook page, we're on X, formerly Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, and we're on the Ocean's Pit Facebook page. So we got a lot of good stuff. Today, coming on at 12 o'clock is my co-host and guest, my good friend, Carol Brandolino, folks, absolutely, from Brandolino's Encore Music Center in Shorewood. She's going to spend the hour with us talking shit. We'll talk some fun. We'll talk about everything. But before we bring her on, let's get right to our sponsors, folks. We got to love our friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, Warrenville. Buy a local, shop a local. Now, they got some great things going on with Ace is the place, folks. Small injury repair for the month of November. They're waiving the $20 diagnostics fee, which covers the 180-point inspection. Ready for your winter and have your snowblower serviced or tune-up. Single-stage snowblower tune-up is just $105 plus parts. Check out their holiday displays, lights, blow-ups, yard decor, and much more. Sign up for an Ace Rewards at one of their cashiers and receive $5 gift card to use on your next in-store purchase at all JRC hardware stores. And be on the lookout for Black Friday coupons. 50% off one regular priced item, $30 or less, valid November 24th only, and 15% off your entire purchase at a regular price merchandise November 25th and November 27th. Applies on the coupons. You gotta love it, man. That's our good friends from Ace Hardware. Buy local, shop local, and let's not forget, folks. If you still look, nothing wrong with buying a grill early instead of waiting till next year. $20 off just by saying, hey, grill your ace off. I want to grill my ace off, and you can still get $20 off any grill purchase. Buy it now so you're ready for the spring. That's our good friends of Ace Hardware, Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, Warrenville. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. Remember, Ace has been helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. And I'm in a good mood today, and I hope you guys are too. It is nice to be here, folks, and just seeing some of you lovely people here today on a beautiful Tuesday, November 7th. Don't forget, this Thursday, Laura Ocean will be our guest, my co-host, of course, every Thursday. And every Thursday, you get a chance to win a copy of her best-selling book. That's right. Last week, we gave her away her first book. We're going to give away one book, a chance, trivia question every Thursday, every time Laura is our co-host. And I got some great news. Coming up very soon, a very special guest will be making his appearance on Ocean's Pit. Priscilla Presley. That's right. Live on Ocean's Pit. Coming soon. We'll give you more details for that. The Queen of Pop. Of course, she was right next to Elvis, man. You're never going to meet Elvis, so at least I got to meet Priscilla last year. Thank you for my good buddy Jimmy Place. He's doing it again. He's going to be promoting his store. Plus, Ron Onesti's bringing her back in for a meet and greet and talking about Elvis. So I'm going to be excited to have Priscilla Presley on Ocean's Pit. Thank you to my good buddy Jimmy Place. We'll give you more details on that. All right, another sponsor coming up, folks. Let's take care of some other great sponsors that have been with us from the very beginning. Let's go, our good friends, Roy McCampbell, attorney at law. If you're looking for a good lawyer, an honest lawyer, Roy is the guy. A statewide law practice that is client-focused and results-driven. 708-275-4264. That's Roy McCampbell. And our brand new sponsor, folks. And this is something for everybody, man. You guys need to get this guy in your, if you're running a business, if you're an entertainer, if you're looking for promotion, if you're looking to get advertising, magazines, TV, radio. He is the guy. We're talking about Bernie DeMayo Partners, advertising, experience, creative, and smart. Bill Gates once said, if I was down to my last marketing dollar and I'd spend it on public relations, It's a sound advice from a guy worth over $100 billion. I couldn't agree more with the value of public relations, and that's why I recommend Bernie DeMayo's Partners. They're unbelievable. Bernie has been my publicist for several years and has gotten me on TV, radio appearances, magazines, articles, newspaper stories, and more. Bernie has worked with a wide variety of clients, including the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, the White Sox, Tavern on the Point, Emerson Park, Phil Stefani Restaurant Groups, the Village of Niles, Popeye's Chickens, and so much more. Learn more about Bernie's award-winning agency and what he can do for your company, PR, advertising, and more. Go to BernieDeMayo.com or call him at 312-217-5658. That's 312-217-5658, BernieDeMayo.com. Just came up with a great article they did for Mars and Lake Geneva, a full page of their 100th anniversary. Bernie is the guy to do it. That's Bernie DeMayo. And let's not forget our good buddies from Deutsch Power Center, folks. That's right, my good buddy Sal. Deutsch Power System. That's right, servicing the construction diesel industry in Chicago for the last 100 years. Call Sal at Deutsch 224-276-6550. And we'll get to some more sponsors before the end of the hour. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm excited today. It's Tuesday. We got a busy week coming up, folks. Tomorrow will be at Capri, Osteria Capri, in Downers Grove in the Doubletree Hotel. Me and Jerry Jams. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thursday we'll be at a brand new place called Eddie Merlot's. Now, they have a lot of these steakhouses everywhere. First time we're going to be there. It's in the Naperville, Warrenville area. That's this Thursday, November 9th, with Jerry Jams and Louis Pipes. It's going to be fun this Thursday. Friday, Chicago Prime Steakhouse with the Professor Daryl Amundstad. And Saturday, it's a private event we're doing at the Rivers Casino in Des Plaines. Good stuff. A lot of fun. Very, very cool. Let's see who's watching today on this beautiful Tuesday. Let's say hello to our friends. Richard Hamlin in the house. Richard, great seeing you Sunday at Chaz Palmintari at the Des Plaines Theater. Got to meet Chaz, great guy. I seen a show in New York once, a one-man show, and he just does the exact, the whole thing by himself. Though Bronx Tale, of course, was the movie with him and Robert De Niro. And it was just a great to have him redo that for 2 straight hours. He didn't even get a sip of water. It's just him and his chair. That's it. And the stage. There was some sound effects and lights and stuff like that, but nothing. I mean, it was just unbelievable. Ron Onesti knows how to do it. Albert from the Ron Onesti organization. Luann, Carla, how you doing, honey? Hope you're doing well. Peter Prado, Kathy from Santa Barbara. We have St. Antonio, Texas. Today we have Iowa. Marion, how you doing? Buddy, Tony, Toto. Did you say your ass off? No, grill your ass off, Double T. Grill your ass. That's right. So good. Michael, how you doing? Daryl Amundstad, see you Friday, my friend. Bill Gates is a trader and works for China. Absolutely. We'll get all into that good stuff. Patrice, former Chicago Bear, Honey Bear, in the house. I hope you had a great birthday, honey. We also had her book signing in Palatine. With her brand new book, off the Sidelines or something it's called. It's a great book. I have it, and it was all the former Honey Bears taking pictures. I'm sure they're going to be doing that again, and I'm looking at it. Nanette, ciao, my friend. How are you doing? Jerry Jams, Bobby is in the house. What's up, Bobby? Great to see you. Joe Center, what's up, buddy? Anyway, so good stuff, a lot of stuff. And before we bring our good friend Carol on, of course, we're talking about 61 days away or 60 days away for the 2024 Chicago Music Cruise. That's right, folks. 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, Wonder of the Seas. It's the biggest ship on the water. It's 4 football fields long, folks. Florida, Coco Key, Bahamas, St. Martin, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's right. Tony Ocean and the Main Event Band, my other band, my rock band, Mojo's Jukebox, and the ringleaders, the world-renowned Seventh Heaven. Oh, that's right. All of us, 1 week. Go to Mary at ntdvacations.com. Final stuff. Get all your information. Make sure you got the passport and your drink package and your shuttle and your hotel, all that stuff. Make sure it's very important. You can get on there. Now you can cruise your ass off. That's right, Jerry Jams. All right. So without any further ado, let's bring my co-host and my good friend Carol on the house. Carol, what's up, honey?
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, thank God you asked me to do this today. I need some vent time. Not bad, but just I need to get it all out, you know? I got a lot going on. I'm
There's
excited.
you
Thank
got
you
you
for
got to
having
let it
me.
out. How
Yeah.
are you doing, Bobby? Doing? Everybody do? The family's great.
Everybody's good. Everybody's keeping busy. Music store's doing well. I got a new job, so I'm actually in one of the offices here, and it looks honestly, I'm looking behind me, and I feel like there should be padding on the walls. Like
There you
the
go.
I just turned 50, and there's like a white jacket waiting for me somewhere in the near future. I can tell you that right now.
Well, Carol, what is your new job? What are you doing, if you don't mind
So
saying?
I'm working with the Will County Office of Education. So it's something very, very, very different for me. I've never, honestly, when I was offered the job, I was basically saying, I'm not great with computers. I've never really sat in an office with the computers and done an office job in my life. And then I stopped for a moment and said, actually, I've never even sat down for a job. I've always been on my feet. I don't even know what it's like to sit during work. Okay.
Well,
So it's actually been an amazing experience. I can't say enough about. I thought I'd run out of here within a week because, I have to give a disclaimer for myself. When I meet people, there's a disclaimer involved. And I swear a lot. And the problem is,
nothing wrong with that. They say that people that swear a lot are a little bit more intelligent, and I do believe that because it's just part of your, especially growing up as being Italian for me,
yeah,
and it was always a swear word here and there between. So
yeah,
it's always that way with us, and we try to keep it. I'm trying to get a little bit less swearing because of the kids and everybody and
me
stuff,
too. Me
but
too. I try. I try.
sometimes, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Carol, the name of the music store is Brandolino's Encore Music Center, 700 West Jefferson Street, Suite Tree
Yeah.
3 in
Mhm.
Sherwood, Illinois. And
Yes.
Bobby, they got musical instruments. They teach stuff, which is very cool, man. It's good. How long has that business been in your family?
So here's something. The patriarch of our family, of Bobby's family, but it's my family too. His grandfather, Papa Sandro, so Sandy, Sandro, Alessandro, Brandolino, who started Brandolino's, his 94th birthday is today. So I'd like to wish him a happy birthday today. Uh,
Happy
he
birthday, Papa.
started, yeah, Papa. He started this business over 50 years ago. So the name Brandolino is very synonymous with music and where we live, in the area in which we live. And so when him and his wife, Grandma Helen, who passed almost 10 years ago, I believe, wonderful woman, very close to her. They did this business together, the music store. And when they sold it, when they retired, Bobby wanted to do that. That's what he grew up doing. So we talked about it. It was the year we were getting married, and he just said, This is what I need to do. This is what I know." And so we found another location in Shorewood, and we opened it up about 16, I think it was about 16 years ago now. So we've been there a long time, and he's very knowledgeable. He knows the business. He's done it his whole life.
Well, you
So
know what, he's a hustler, so he knows
yeah.
he's always working. He's always on top of things, and you
Oh
need to
yeah.
be that when you run your own business. You
Hmm.
have to be on top of it, which is very, very important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chuck Fieldman is watching. Chuck, a very good friend of ours. I got to see Chuck on Sunday. Chuck, great seeing you. Chuck turned me on to some great music, and he's a writer himself. And Chuck knows when he says, "Tony, listen to this band," I listen to it. He
Yeah.
even we got to meet Todd Rundgren together. He bought me to
Oh
meet
yeah.
Todd. That
Nice.
was really sharp.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So I want to say hello to Chuck. All right, Carol, let's get to some stuff here real fast. Now, tonight, I'm finally going to see my buddy Rhino and Gil at Capitol Grill. We go out a couple times a year with the wives, and I'm going to finally have a night off and go over there and enjoy ourselves there. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Um, with everything I want to say, I wish a happy 53rd wedding anniversary to Andy and Olivia Trimpe. Of course, Andy was a great drummer and for Rick Lindy for a lot of years. He also played for me, and Olivia was on my front cover of my Me and Mrs. Jones CD. Also, she was in the Me and Mrs. Jones video. So happy
Nice.
53 years to Andy and Olivia Trippy. Ah,
God bless.
everything is going. So let's get to some stuff. I'm just going to throw some questions out there, and you tell me what. Now, big Italian family. What was it like? First of all, let's go for Halloween. Did you guys have a lot of kids? Uh,
No, no, we didn't have a lot of kids, and we're in our new home now. So that's another thing that's happened over the last 6, 7 months. Everything's just come full circle on everything you could possibly do in a matter of 6 months. So we're in our new home, new neighborhood. We in Shorewood, right by the music store. So that's great. The weather was kind of sucky, so we didn't have a lot, but we didn't know what to expect. So obviously we had to be prepared. So I had my son at home with the candy at first, so I could take my daughter and her friend trick-or-treating. And then when we got back, maybe it was maybe 10, 15 more kids after that.
Yeah.
So he said we didn't get a ton, which is kind of sad. I mean, that's one of my favorite days of the year. We used to do it big, and we go trick-or-treating, and there are way more kids out back then.
Like you said, I think the weather kind of scared some people off. We had about 20 kids too.
Yeah.
But you're right. Looks like the tradition is a little different over there.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving coming up. Do you guys do a big shindig for Thanksgiving?
Well, things are changing and shifting a little bit now that we have the house, bigger space for us. We'll see. Maybe I'd like to pick up a holiday. Our aunts and or uncles or other relatives have had the holidays over the years. So, I may pick up maybe a Christmas Day this year, and Thanksgiving we've done different things. Sometimes we'll go and get a night at the Drake. We've done that, or just a weekend. It's kind of nice to get away when you have a schedule like you, busy, constantly going. I don't know how you do it. I just want you to send over a regime, or I don't know what, I don't know. That's on my list. I need to know how you do it and how you have energy.
Very simple. Jack Daniels in the afternoon.
Cheers. No, this is what does Laura call? I wish this was a cocktail. She calls her pop. Is it the dirty? Is that what she says?
Is that what happened?
What does Laura call her pop? The dirty?
Oh, the nasty.
The nasty.
You gotta have her and Natalie. I get them for them every day. They have to have 2 large Diet Cokes. That's their thing. Woo!
And I'm right there with them. This is though a sugar-free iced vanilla coffee from McDonald's too, because I love their Diet Pop. But this, and look, it fits in. Everybody gets blown away. It's a nice Yeti, and then the large fits right into it perfectly.
Look at that. See, I got to tell my daughter Gianna, our Gianna, has a one like that too. I didn't know that. Hey, Bobby put the website up there, folks. www.bandolinomusic.com. So make sure you check that out. John, how you doing? Nice to see from you, buddy. Kathy Lazara, Deborah, hello. We are here at Ocean Spit with my good friend Carol Brandolino. Carol, okay.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
You saw my boyfriend, Chaz Palminteri, and I'm going to make it quick, but I'm going to tell you he is next to Robert De Niro, who, is still having children. Yeah, I thought I was too late in the game, but
he's got 8 or 7 kids.
Yeah, he's still just had a kid a year ago. He's like 80 something years old. I don't put it away. It's time.
I don't even think he planned it. How about Al Pacino was in the news this week? He's got to pay $30,000 a month for child support.
Well, he's got it. I guess if you're rich, go ahead, keep having them. But I don't know. They're not even going to see their fifth. Well, I don't want to say I'm knocking on wood. I don't want to put that out there in the universe. But I did go see Chaz Palminteri. Maybe the last time he was at the Arcada, I think it was 5-6 years ago. I don't even know it was that long ago. Yeah. But we had tickets. Arano Nesti, who I adore, and just now the last couple of years have gotten to know him a little bit more on a one-on-one basis. When I run into him, I always stop him and I tell him he is such a positive human being, and he makes me feel so good when I see him and when I listen to him talk and do his walk and talks and his lives. And I will stop what I'm doing, as long as I'm not at work, and I will listen to him because he's got it down. He's a real person. He's honest. He's genuine, and he cares. And I just love everything about the guy. I really do. He's a wonderful person, and I appreciate him. But he got us some tickets. I asked, it was his last minute. I had found out about it, and we were going to go. And Bobby got sick, I don't know, an hour and a half before we were supposed to leave.
Okay.
And I think he threw up, maybe even. I felt really bad. However, I was like, I'm sorry.
Chicken soup, but I'm going anyway to see.
I can't. I felt like such a jerk, but I left. I was like, I cannot miss Chaz Palminteri one man show. I can't do it. So I did. I left, and I went by myself, and I went and sat for the show. And they at the very end said they were going to do a Q&A. I'm like, are you serious? So they let 5 people go up and stand by the stage right there. And of course, I'm not going to not do it. There's no way. And
Sure.
so I was up there and able to ask him a few questions. And what an amazing life. What an amazing guy. So inspirational and so down,
And it
again,
was, and
down to earth.
the Bronx Tale was a true story.
I know it. I
And
knew it.
he was a New York guy from Arthur Avenue, and
Mhm.
he had this deal. He had this one man show that he was doing for a long time, like he said. And then
Yeah.
he had a bunch of movie offers, but they didn't want him to play Sonny, so he
Right.
kept turning it down until De Niro went to see the show, met him
Yeah.
backstage, shook his hand, and they gave
Yep.
it a direct, and boom, boom, boom.
I
So
love it.
that's how it works.
I
That's how
love
it
it.
happens.
Yes, yes, it does. And you know what? His life story, I think one of the questions I'd asked him was what was the driving force be, for him choosing which life to go with? Does he
Good
stay in this
question.
powerful life, or do they're very different roads. And I just said, what was the driving force? If you had to pick one thing, what was it? And he said, and I remember this, he didn't want to disappoint his parents. He respected his parents too much to disappoint them, because he did struggle with it here, maybe a little bit as a teenager, maybe whatever. But how seeing that happen in front of him, and then having these experiences and seeing the good life, so to speak, right? Where the power, the good life and everything. And
He
then,
could have went that way. And
right.
one thing I was talking to Ron Onesti yesterday, a great guy, like you said, been my
Hmm.
friend for many, many years. And what Ron said was they didn't film any of that stuff on Arthur Avenue.
Hmm.
He didn't, and he had to change the names of some of the characters.
Hmm.
And the reason why he didn't do it in the neighborhood, and his answer was simple. He goes, "I didn't want any partners in making the film. So he did it
Hmm.
all on his own, and he could have
Smart.
went that route. I mean, look at
Hmm.
all the Italian Americans that came in from Italy, Ellis
Yeah.
Island, come in. Our parents, grandparents, they could have went that route,
Yeah.
And I don't blame anybody that went that route. I mean, you
No.
had to do what you had to do.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's all there is to it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
But just simply the respect, and I'm thinking about this because I have young children, and um, that's how important it is. You want to live in a way that your children can respect you, because look at his decision was based on his respect for his parents. So make sure you are living, practice what you preach for your kids, because that decision, one day they're going to make a decision based on how it will affect you if they respect you that much. That new show on Netflix, Sly, I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen it with
Yeah, with Stallone, I think that's fantastic. I mean, look at that life. I mean, look at
look
that
at
story.
his, yeah, you just see how these people come up and what they've been through. And it's definitely a motivator in how you navigate through life for most people. You're going to see a lot of successful people. I think most of them have been through the ringer, and they don't want to be where they are. And that is their driving force in succeeding, you
I
know?
agree. Are you a De Niro or Pacino? If you had the two, which one?
All right. I'm going to say two things: acting, Pacino, De Niro. I just, had a thing for him always. But so that's what I would do.
I love them both. I think
Mhm.
Pacino, a lot of times when they play their roles, they usually play the same character. It seems like whether they're doing, but they're still fantastic. I'm
Right.
not a big fan of De Niro's political things,
Right.
but
No.
don't care for that.
Hmm. Me
But
either.
they're fantastic and
Yeah.
great actors, and they're great for Italian Americans. They really are.
Yeah.
We have two kids. I got to meet one of your kids at Positanos a month ago, which was very, very cool.
Yes.
Carol, what's going on with this world with these kids? Now you have older kids. You don't have any young kids, do you?
No, they're young. I mean, my son, he looks older. I
Yeah.
took him on a date. We went on our Mother's Sunday. He's
Right.
15. They were asking him, would you like a beer? And he's like, oh no. He's like, I don't drink beer. They're like, you want a martini? I'm like, he's 15. No, he does not. But he looked so
Carol,
much older.
well,
And
let
my
me ask
daughter's going to be 12 next week. So they're
you.
young. I mean, this is a
They're still in
worst,
school then.
hardest age. Yes.
They're still in school. So, with all the stuff that's going on in school, well, I remember growing up as a kid. Well, first of all, I want to say hello to my good buddy Bobby Lamantia from Texas. He's got a place called Shark Burgers, a beautiful place up there. We'll be playing there in May. They have a lot of rock bands, and they're right on the wall on the beach, and it's very cool. Bobby, how you doing, pal? I don't know. the younger kids. When I remember growing up as teachers, they taught us. They
Hmm.
tried to do the best they could. Look, if it wasn't
Hmm.
for my music teacher giving me a
Hmm.
slap every now and then, hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is. What
Hmm.
do you say to these kids now and these teachers when they come up with this? I mean, I just don't get
It's
it. The whole,
entitlement. It's entitlement is the, I think, this in my opinion, kids are way too entitled and way too entitled nowadays. The attitude with the 20 somethings and the 30 somethings, and I hate to put them all in one category, one ball, because they're not all like that, but it's entitlement and not having any discipline. I think parents are not present. I think they are afraid to not be their friends with their kids. I think they're too worried about being, I mean, look, I want my kids to love me. I want them to be happy with me. But I remembered hearing years ago, if your kid thinks you're the coolest person out there and they love hanging out with you, and at this certain age, you're doing something wrong. So I remember that, and I always try to think about that. So every once in a while, when they're ticked off at me and pissed off and slamming door or whatever, I think, okay, I'm doing something right, because they got to hear no. And they also have to work for what they want, because, there's no I feel like a cash cow sometimes. I don't, I need,
yeah, well, let
but
me
they
ask you:
work for it.
did it change? Did it was it like? I think it was always like that too, but I think it got worse during the pandemic. Oh, excuse me, during the flu. During the flu, during the
Yeah.
pandemic thing, where they
Yeah.
all stayed at
Mhm.
home and everybody stayed at home and didn't want to work anymore. I think a lot of people. Carla says parents are absent because dual income families are a must now, and that means less time spending with parenting. I agree with that. It's got to be very difficult.
Yeah, that is difficult too, and we are one of those families where we both have to work. I've worked, never not worked in my life. Okay, that
Sure.
just wasn't an option. Not an option. I wanted to. Once I had tasted making money at a young age, and felt like they're not going to tell me what I can or can't spend money on, I enjoyed having that freedom to make the money and spend it as I wanted to. So what I did was I left my career, so to speak, at the time, the radio, and I went with what I knew, which was restaurants and bartending and managing. And I did that a few nights a week, so I could be home during the day with the kids. I mean, it's so difficult. It's so difficult because you need to pair people working nowadays. But I do believe too that it's not the amount of time you spend with them; it's the quality of the time. You can be at home 12 hours a day with your kid and not talk to them for 20 minutes. You don't have to be there the whole time. So I do want to say that I've seen it at a lot of different instances, and it's the quality of the conversations you have with your kids. It's what you do when you're together. I've had some great eye-opening conversations with my son, who's really now starting to talk about a lot of different things and opening up, and
Yeah.
it blows my mind because he's very open and honest with me, which I'm grateful for. But you spend time, the quality is what makes the
I think
difference.
that's important too. And you know what? And then I mean, some of these kids grow up calling their parents by their first name.
Yeah.
There's some, so it's weird. But even with the teachers, teaching them now their own agenda
Oh
instead
yeah.
of teaching what they're supposed to in the state of California right
Mhm.
now. And I heard it happened in Illinois too. I didn't
Oh,
know this
it
recently.
happens everywhere. It
But
happens.
wait a minute, I just found out that in California, I think maybe in even Illinois, if I'm correct,
Mhm.
if you fight your kids about being changing their sex, they can take your kids away from you
Legally, like.
legally. In California, they can take your kids. Listen, I don't care what anybody does with their life, but let these kids
Mhm.
grow up. Let
Right.
them grow up and let them get in trouble. Let them break a window, get arrested, do something
Mhm.
first to
Mhm.
learn life somewhere,
Right.
because you grow up and these kids and the teachers are, I mean, and the social media and the TikTok and all this stuff. I mean, look, we need social media. I got it. I need it. We need it. Our businesses, I got it. It's good
Right.
and bad. And and my
Mhm.
wife says I'm on this thing 24 hours a day. I am, which is I'm addicted to, which is bad. But in other, what I'm trying to say is, what do you do when the kids come to your house and your teacher said something and they say to you or you and Bobby, I mean, what do you do? I mean, you can't go beat up the teacher.
No,
You can't threaten, you
you're
can't do
right.
anything anymore.
Well, I will tell you this, and I can only say so much, you know, on this. subject, but I will say this. I have learned now, working where I work and just seeing things from a different perspective. And I didn't know this because regional superintendents and these types of superintendents, they really truly do only have a certain amount of power. Okay. The school board has the power. The school board, those are elected members. Those are the people. So if you want to have the people stop teaching your kids their agenda and telling them how to live their lives, and that kids should be asexual, in my opinion, till the time, I mean, come on, be a kid first. We never talked about sex in grade school. We never had to have that talk until 5th or 6th grade when they did a little video. Nobody talked about it. It didn't matter at that point. We weren't thinking about it unless it was shoved down our throats. Any situation, cigarettes, this, that, drugs. I mean, that's why the social media is bad. Okay, we see that. It's about voting. It's about reading up on the policies of the people. And let me tell you something, look at your tax bill. If you look at your bill, your property taxes, and you see how much of that money goes to the school, some of these superintendents make over $250,000 a year. Okay, school superintendents. Okay, so here's the thing. Look at the tax bill. Look how much money you're paying, whether you have kids or not. And okay, that my money is going to education for children, and this, I'm okay with that. I'm better with my money going to that. We have no choice where our taxes go, that they're going to take them. So if I had a choice, I would say yes to schools, to kids that are homeless or that have this or that going on. But you are the one that's going to make the difference. You have to vote. You have to look and see what their policies are. And you know what? That's where it's at, the school board. So that's where it starts. Period. End of story. I'm learning this. I'm reading on it now. Who has the power? Or run for something, right? Or try to pass, like, honestly, I'm already thinking about these things. How can you pass legislation? How do you navigate through that? Like, I'm asking so many questions right now because we parents feel so helpless nowadays. At least I do. And I feel like I don't have a voice, and you feel like nobody's listening. And it's frustrating. And you want your kids to get an education, and you want them to be mentally okay, and they're not. They're not mentally okay.
And another thing too, like you said, even like the topics that you're not allowed to talk about. I mean, even in school now with religion, they're trying to take God away from, no more Pledge Allegiance. They're trying to take God off the currency. Even during an NFL, even during sports games now, they don't even show the national anthem on television anymore. Mm-hmm. That part of it, they go right to the game. And you know what? Look, I don't care what God you believe in. I think I believe in God myself. I was brought up that spiritual, but religion now is you can't talk about. Even the whole politics thing. Before we break off, I gotta say hello to Jimmy Parker, Nashville, in the house. Great country recording artist, award winner, Jimmy Parker. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Listen to it. Jim Kirschlager and Dennis, our good friends from Lake Geneva. How you guys doing? But it's look, Jerry Michelli. We have tampons in the boys' bathrooms mandated by the state, and because he serves on the school board.
Wait, they have tampons in the boys' for what?
Because
for what? They don't get a period. They don't have a menstrual cycle. What are they going to do? Stuff their bra with it? I don't know. I don't understand.
What about some schools have litter boxes now because they want to be known as cats or a dog or a kangaroo. I don't know, but I don't know where this started. I have no idea what's going on with this world, and I feel sorry for the kids. And then the whole political thing. God, you got to be careful. How do you guys do it? You and Bob, you have customers coming in, whatever your political thing is. I have no problem telling my political side, who I'm wanting for, who I believe for, and everything. That's nothing. But right now, what was it? Whatever. I mean, you can't even talk about that anymore. I mean, I don't get it. How do you guys handle that, you and Bobby?
Well, it's a slippery slope. You have to be careful when you own a business, just like restaurants, a lot of restaurants. Look, the people that are not afraid of getting canceled, right? Let's talk about maybe Kid Rock or these people that are so famous, so rich that they don't have to have that fear of getting canceled, right? It's not going to affect their livelihood. They're not worried about it. So it's the same thing as a business owner. Maybe if it's a business that's extremely successful, lots of money, you don't have to worry about, what your views are, these chains, and so to speak. But if you're a mom and pop business owner, you're kind of screwed, because a lot of like restaurants too, you can't put political signs. You're not supposed to put political signs. You're not supposed to. Or if you're a bartender, or you're not supposed to talk politics, because look, what's that going to affect? Your livelihood, right? They're not going to tip you if they don't agree with your values or
Oh, I
your
got it. But what about the
opinions.
day? Remember back in the past, we used to see the guy would come to your door. Can you put this on your window?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you put this in your restaurant? Can
Right.
you put it out in front of your lawn? It
Yeah.
was okay.
Proudly. And you should be able to. I don't have to agree with you, but you could support whoever you want to. I don't care who you support, but people have put everything under such a blanket, such an umbrella, that just because, if you, God forbid, have an American flag out, or I don't know, it's very frustrating and sad to me, and I'm just disgusted at what my children are living through right now, and trying to teach them daily, why and how, and, I don't know, to have their own opinion, and to at least respect other people's opinion, but don't ever be afraid to voice your opinion. As far as we go at the music store, we try to, or where I work, you just try not to offend anybody. But now, if they're talking about something, now here's the problem I have. If somebody's talking about something that I don't agree with, well, they're not afraid or worried about offending me. Again, I don't get offended when people talk about something I don't agree with. I may just say, my opinion on the subject.
Yeah.
I don't, it's called a discussion. It's called a discussion. People need to learn how to discuss things
That's
nowadays.
gone. It's almost like when you went to a Bears game. You go to a Bears game and you got a Packers jersey on. You can't do
Yeah.
that no more. You can't, or you're waving a White Sox flag in front of
Yeah.
your house if you're
Yeah.
if you're in the Cub North Side. I mean, why Lincoln, Cadillac? Why do people have to get into that? Why can't you just sit down and have a regular discussion? Hey, you know what? I don't like that shirt on you.
Right.
You have your friends with you, and you're going out with your friends. Hey, that might not look good on you. You're not going to say screw you. I mean,
Right.
come on.
Well, the ironic thing is, and this just popped into my head, is the word tolerance. Now, the very thing that a lot of people are talking about now, which is tolerance on one side of the narrative, is really all we're trying to accomplish on the opposite side, is tolerance. It's everybody, there should be tolerance, but it's got to be on both sides.
Yeah.
Tolerance, but it can't be one-sided. It's very hypocritical in a lot of discussions that I see or I have, and I'm not going to not speak up anymore. And I can always be respectful. I'm always respectful. You
Sure.
can say F you with a smile on your face if you want to, if you know how to speak to people the right way, and you know how to, use your words. But, if people are going to tell me their opinions and be loud and proud about it, then I'm going to say my opinion as well, whether I own the business or not.
And like I said, it's the same story. You should be able to, without defriending or
Right.
can't come to my house
Yeah.
anymore. My
Right.
sister had best friends
Yeah.
during the flu, during
Mhm.
the so-called pandemic,
Right.
the flu,
Mhm.
and because she didn't get vaccinated, she didn't get the shot. They're not friends no more. You can't come to my house
That's
anymore.
unbelievable.
What is wrong with these people? And these leftists, they're just driving, they're destroying this country. You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. Our good friend Carol Brandolino's on. It's time for a couple more sponsors here, folks. We're having a great hour. We got a lot more things to talk about. Let's talk about Don Esteban Cigars out of Tarpon Springs, Florida, folks. Get those hand rolled cigars delivered right to your house. You call Javier at 727-366-7536. And let's not forget Trico Hair Experts out of Rosemont, Illinois, recreating great hair days. 773-999-7878. And Armando Supermarkets. Buy local, shop local, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin. And last but not least, our good friends Mikey and Gigi from Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair. For all your collision auto repair needs, go to crashchampions.com. Carol Brandolino Encore Music Center, 700 West Jefferson Street, Suite 3 in Shorewood, Illinois. Carol, what's if anybody's never been to Shorewood, what's the thing that sticks out in Shorewood? What is it?
As a village, or
Yeah, I mean, what's Shorewood popular for?
I don't know. It's a smaller town. That's a good question. I don't know. It's got some nice little restaurants there. I have to say the music store is a staple there. I really do. I have to say that. There's a really nice, their village, their town center. I do have to say this. I haven't seen this in a long time. And when the kids were little, we still would go there. In the summer, they have movies in the park outside. So every other week on a Thursday in the summer, they'll do like a movies in the park. And then all the whole surrounding neighborhoods, you can bring the strollers, you can bring your coolers, you can bring your blankets. It's really nice. Local businesses can have a little table there to hand things out. And then every other week, they do music, live music. So they have like a real nice, like a gazebo type area there, and the band's
They
play.
do concerts in the park.
Yeah, concerts. It's really nice.
Yeah, when I went to certain towns, like Plainfield, for instance, the first time I ever played Plainfield, this was years ago. It was a restaurant that was a church.
Yeah, Bocce.
I did their festival, and I looked at Plainfield. I never heard of it. And, they got the headquarters of the Ku Klux Klan in Plainfield. I didn't know that. But, there's something that you learn about different. I don't know if they still do, but I know they had it back then. But,
I have no idea. I'm going to have to look into that. But
Carla says, "What's Chicken and Spice?"
Oh, Chicken and Spice that's actually a really good place. They just opened in Shorewood. They have a Chicken and Spice in downtown Joliet. Okay. They're like big chunks of chicken, white meat chicken, breaded. And then, they have different barbecue sauces and hot sauces.
Is it fast food or fine dining?
It's more fast food. Yeah, but it's really good. A lot of people I know do a ton of parties, they'll have their catering. But, I will say, the village of Shorewood, I have to say now that I'm thinking about it, is known for, I think they're a really close-knit community, and they do a lot of things that are family oriented. So that I should say that. And that's why the movies in the park and the concerts in the park came to mind, because when the kids were younger, I would take them there, even though we didn't live there at the time, but we were not far, 10 minutes. Sure. But the music store was always there. So I'd have the kids handing out flyers or tote bags with the music store information. So I had the kids walking around and, advertising, music lessons.
You got to plug the place. Carol, were you or Bobby smokers?
No, I've never been a smoker. Bobby was a smoker for many, many years, and then he ended up with like double lung pneumonia. That was about 11 years ago. I remember my daughter was a baby, and he quit after that. So yeah, my whole family smokes. And they did my whole life, back in the day when everybody smoked in the house. Everybody.
Yeah, I remember my dad used to, but right now they have in the news, big tobacco right now, companies like Marlboro. You ever wonder that their prices had no problem going up, and people would still pay?
And
now they're coming up. Yeah, right. Now they're getting the cheaper cigarettes, and some people are even going out of state to get them. But right now they're saying that they're putting the state is trying to put a block on keeping the cigarettes at a certain price instead of going up, because they're making millions and millions.
Of course they are.
I know what they make from my cigars, and I smoke 3 a day, so I know what that's like. So I know.
It's an expensive habit. It's an expensive habit, and I don't judge people for it. But I will tell you this: if you're trying to figure out a way to maybe deter your kids from smoking. So when I was about 10, I told my kids this story a long time ago. My dad, so we lived in the old bungalows, right? So the kitchen was all the way in the far back, and then you have the long hallway to the living room. So my dad and I were home alone that night. He was making breakfast for dinner. It was like, I was excited. And his ashtray was on the coffee table in the living room, and his cigarette was just sitting there burning. And I'm like, all right. I mean, this is what I talk about, lead by example, right? So, I mean, my parents, everybody smoked around me. And I'm like, well, I'm going to try it and see what's going on. So I picked up the cigarette. I, puffed it in. Now, as a child, you don't know to breathe it in and inhale. So it's in your mouth. And so my dad saw me, and he came out, and the smoke, I was like it was in my mouth, and tears. My dad didn't beat us or anything. He wasn't like that, but I was scared of him. He had that look, and the tears started rolling down my face. And I was like, oh God, I'm done. And he said, blow it out. And he had, we called him Ricky Ricardo because he had an accent, a little bit of an accent. And he goes, no, blow it out, blow it out. And he goes, you got to do it this way. Okay. He's like, put it in your mouth. And now, no. And I was like crying. And he said, no, I'm going to tell you the right way to do it. So put it in your mouth. He goes, now breathe, take a deep breath in and breathe it all the way in. And
yeah, I tried it too. I that's why I couldn't smoke cigarettes, because I couldn't inhale.
I threw up all over. I threw up all over the living room floor, everywhere. And one last time, I still had to try it when I was with a friend, and I tried lighting it off of the stove.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe this will be a different way. Now I know how to inhale. I'll try it again. So I tried it off the stove, and I burned
No,
my eyebrows basically.
it's almost like that's why I can't smoke
I'm
pot.
done.
I can't smoke pot because I tried it once. I can't
Oh
do
yeah, no, you
it.
cough a lung up.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people
But the gummies are different though. I have to say, I'm not going to lie. I mean, as
gummies are
you
a
get
little
to my
different.
age, the hormones are starting to rage a lot. And I'm having like heart palpitations. There's days I think I'm having a heart attack. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's stress. I don't know if I really don't. Maybe menopause is starting now. It probably is. But I cannot deal with that. And I'm not going to deal with that.
No,
So
yeah.
whatever
I
I
mean,
got to do, I'm going to do.
some people are doing the gummies. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let's look at some other topics here. What is
Yeah.
this big thing? I know the kids are all over it. My daughter's a big Swiftie. What's with this Taylor Swift now?
Okay.
First of all,
That's
half of her albums sold in the U.S. Half of the albums sold in the United States this
mhm.
past month have been hers. I mean, one of her records from 1989 when she first whatever came out. I don't get the whole Swiftie thing.
I can't tell you I do either. I don't because it's not well. I mean, I do like some of her music. When the kids were younger, we'd be in the car and a popular song would come on, and we sing and dance to it. But I don't see it. My daughter isn't one. She's going to be 12 next week. It's not her. It's not her cup of tea.
Okay, so
Um,
she doesn't get into it because a lot of the younger kids do.
they
And here's
do.
what I don't think. She's what? How old do you think she is? 30? Someone said she's like
Yeah,
30.
somewhere around there. I think. Yeah.
How many relationships has this woman been through? Because every song is about someone that a relationship. And
Right.
that we were mentioning, I think the guys that she broke up with, I think
Mhm.
need to start making some money on some of those songs because they're about them. I just
Well,
don't get it.
yeah,
And she's a billionaire right now. A
I know.
billionaire. She sold more music than any other woman in the music business in history. More than
Yeah.
Streisand. More than I mean, it's crazy.
And I hate to say it, I know there's better talent out there. I'm not saying she's not talented. She's very, very talented, but it's not the talent that's selling her. It's her, just the package, her look, the way, she does play the guitar, which, again, she plays her own music. She writes her own music. These are
Yeah.
all, if you're a musician, these are huge,
She's
write your
very
own music.
talented. She's very
Right.
talented. I got it. For what she
But
does,
the
right?
but the package, the whole package overall for me, I don't see it. It's a fad. I don't want to call it a cult. Okay, but you know what I mean. That sort of thing. It's like you follow. It's like you just start following and wanting to be them. But here's the thing: when you become a billionaire, a millionaire, billionaire that quickly, and when you get that kind of money that quickly, what happens to you? You get bored. You get so bored. What is there? What's left?
There is nothing you can once you get to that point, there is nothing left. And then every record that you had has to be the next one, even if you make
Right.
a bad one. It's just crazy.
Right.
It's nuts. Were
Yeah.
you a Friends fan? Were you a Friends fan growing up?
I watched it, but not like religiously. So I watched it, but not in sequence, I should say. So, but I've been reading a lot about Matthew Perry, and it's very, very sad because now, okay, I just turned 50, and I have heard of more deaths in my age group in the last couple of years that has literally made me paranoid.
Jab,
I'm officially
jab,
paranoid.
jab, the jab,
I
the jab.
mean, God forbid, if I ask anybody that question, and I do ask because I want to know, I'm curious more than anything.
I get a
And
lot of shit for that too.
you know what? But I do ask because I do believe maybe, and I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not well versed in any of this. However, I will say this: I think a lot of things might have been lying dormant in people. Look, we all have some kind of health issue that you didn't know about. You find out about it eventually when you start getting the symptoms, right? Or something happens.
I think we all have a cancer cell in us. We just don't know if it's going to take off.
I agree. Right. So the thing is I think there's something that's lying dormant. Obviously, we're seeing the news, we're reading the stories that are being written. And they're even saying Fauci, I mean, this makes me sad because,
first of all, he's an Italian and just makes the Italians look horrible. This
Well,
guy,
yeah.
well, from what I heard, he hasn't even worked, from what I read, he never even worked on a patient, this guy. I mean, I don't get it. It was pretty scary when a lot of people didn't know what to do when that first came out. And
Yeah.
people are still, I still see people that are still afraid. It's just crazy what the media has done to this crazy country that we're living in.
Well, can I tell you, I stopped with cable only because I was just just so aggravated with the bill, how expensive it was when we were moving, and I didn't renew it. We just went to like streaming, and I don't even have. And maybe this is ignorant of me to be doing. I have no television, like regular television right now. I try to go on through podcasts and or different things online, maybe new breaking news or updates on different types of platforms, just to see so I could be informed somewhat. But I'll be honest with you, I don't even have. So many people come to me and say, "Did you hear this? Did you hear that?" And they're freaking out about it. And I said, "No, I think you're better off, to be honest with you, not watching the news. I really do, and then find a couple of platforms to find the most important things that are going to affect you on a
Right.
daily basis and your kids, and go from there, because it is toxic. The news is toxic."
Well, you know what? When I was growing up as a kid, and I think when you guys were all growing up, when you heard, and we mentioned this a couple times on the show already, you talked. There was 3 or 4 or 5 different stations, and they said what it was, and that's what I think. A lot of the newscasters at the time, they always felt said what they felt in their hearts and what they believed in. I think now you can watch one TV news show, and then you can
Oh yeah.
watch another one, and two completely different stories and two completely different outcomes. It depends on how, if one's a Democrat or one's a Republican. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
and it's the news. It's supposed to just be facts. First of all, learning and being in school in getting the degree in the broadcast journalism, to be honest with you, they should never know what you prefer. They shouldn't know. If you're really there putting the news out and delivering the news, it's just supposed to be facts. Your opinion, it shouldn't be in the news technically. It's supposed to be the facts, right? So then if not, it's an opinion piece, or it's Entertainment Tonight or whatever it is, these types of shows. It's not like what it used to be at all. And a
no.
lot of it's coming from the top, though. These bosses, these owners of these major corporations, they're putting it in writing that you have to do this or you have to do that. So I don't want to look at it as people are selling out. They need to make money, they need a livelihood. You're kind of stuck. They're telling people you have to get a shot, an immunization, or you're going to lose your job as a nurse. I talked to women that had 2 or 3 children, and they were single moms during the pandemic, during COVID, and they had to do it. They cried. A friend of mine cried, and she said, I can't lose my job. How are they?
Isn't it ironic, though, now that he wanted them all back again after they all fired them? Now they all want their jobs back again. I mean, come on. It's just crazy. You're watching Ocean Spit, little show about big things. Carol Brandolino. Carol, do you watch? We just spoke about Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
You know what? For the reruns, he was making $20 million a year just on the reruns from Friends.
Wow. Well, you see right there, and there's a perfect example of. I know a lot of people have a lot of money, not that kind of money, but a lot of money. And sometimes, from what I see, the people that have the most money are the saddest people, or they have the biggest problems. And I just feel like it's a vicious cycle or circle that they're in, because
you see them every day smiling. You never know what they have in their head, what's going on, or what's happening at home. Ocean Spit, little show about big things. We got some birthdays real fast. Jeff Probst, I think he was a host on Survivor, 62 years old. Karen Lindy, the wife of Rick Lindy. Happy birthday, Karen. Roy Rogers, country singer, of course. Oh, yeah, you got to love it, man. Very cool. Mark Dodson from the Grassroots, Chicago guy. Happy birthday, Mark. Jonathan Harris from Lost in Space. Remember, he played Dr.
yeah.
Art Garfunkel from Simon and Garfunkel celebrating a birthday. Joel McCrea from the hit musical Oklahoma. Vivian Leigh, great actor she was. You gotta love these people coming. Kris Jenner, 68 years old. Are you a Kardashian fan, Carol?
Not really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen episodes here and there, but I never watched it. I don't know too much. I've seen them here and there. I can't. It's hard for me to tolerate. Like I could do a Housewives of New Jersey every once in a while for sure. Yeah. It's a guilty pleasure, Jersey Shore, but I can't do Kardashians.
Yeah, she's a little nuts. Are you a country music fan?
I am. I become a country music fan, and I can't tell you. I made the switch. It was like you couldn't get more polar opposite. I didn't like it at all back in the day, and then one day I was listening to Kenny Chesney radio station, the No Shoes Radio, when I got XM radio. And this song came on and I laughed. It's called I can buy me a truck, or I can buy me a boat and a truck to pull it. Whatever this song was, I listened to it and it made me laugh. And I thought, okay, I'm going to keep listening to this station. So the more I listened to this Kenny Chesney No Shoes Radio, I absolutely love it. I have a good friend that just moved out to Nashville, and he's going to be, I think he's going to be a household name in the next year for sure. He's getting picked up by a lot of different places. He's amazing. He writes his own music, has a great story. He's an amazing guy. But he made me love it even more because he writes his own music and it's stories.
I like the old country stuff. I try to listen to new stuff. I don't get it. We were just in Nashville twice.
Yeah.
And it's funny, though. Some of those people and most of those artists that play in these clubs, they don't get paid a lot.
No, I didn't know that.
Some of them do to a point if they get the bigger following and stuff. But they go by tips, and some of these guys are studio musicians during the day, and then they go out and they play. It's got to be very, very difficult. Ronnie B. Elvis in the house. How you doing, Ronnie? Great Elvis guy. He's got a big show coming up, I think, November at the Arcada Theater. Check him out. Good stuff. Are you an Elvis fan?
Very big Elvis fan. I've always loved Elvis. I've not been to Graceland before. It's kind of a bucket list for me thing to do. So I do. I love Elvis. My aunt, growing up with my aunt, she had Down syndrome, but she was my everything. And we would go to her house and you couldn't touch anything that was hers in her room. And Elvis movie was playing on her TV day and night. It was that or General Hospital. So those two things I know.
That was it. And it's the first movie that came out with Tom Hanks playing Colonel Tom Parker. I've seen that Elvis movie. I love Tom Hanks. I thought he did a great job because it was the story of Elvis, whatever it was, seen through the eyes of Colonel Tom Parker. This new movie with Priscilla, I guess some people seen it, some people didn't. They said, first of all, they weren't allowed to have any Elvis music in the new movie. But the guy who played him, Jacob Eldery, if I'm pronouncing his name right, he ate a pound of bacon every day to get to the size and weight to get to like Elvis. And they said, some people that seen it said some of the actors were not real. They weren't believable. But you know what? You have to see the movie yourself.
Okay. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, when I got to meet Priscilla last year, I think my buddy Jimmy Place, very sweet lady, and I asked him, I go, Priscilla, what was breakfast? What was a day like with Elvis? She goes, there was no breakfast. You get up at like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and they would eat and see their movies. I don't know, but it's big. I mean, Elvis has got a huge following and some great songs. How about these talk shows? Well, we don't have much time left, but what about these talk shows? These music shows. Do you watch The Voice, American Idol?
Yeah, you know what? I do sometimes when I can. Like I said, I don't have regular not regular TV right now, but we do watch it on YouTube a lot of times, or the kids and I used to watch it quite a bit because my kids like to perform and sing. And, we actually know a girl right now. When I was booking the entertainment at Uptown.
Yes.
When I had an acoustic open mic night I had started on Monday nights, and this girl would come in. She's actually on The Voice right now. She's in the battle. She's on the battle rounds. Her name is Olivia Minogue. She is, when she would come up on Monday nights, she was really shy, beautiful, beautiful girl, but her voice, wow, unbelievable. So to see her now there is kind of cool because you know them, and she's been on she was on our stage, and she was just a sweet young girl. She's young, 20 years old, maybe, I think. But she's from Rockport.
What you're looking for. I noticed, I remember when we were on Star Search back then in that show, or I don't know which one it is. I think it's the one that any age can sing. I think American Idol.
Star Searcher. I think you're right. I think.
But the American Idol, I think, or The Voice, or America's Got Talent is any age. I think.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But you know what? It seems like, God, these are the new avenues, and people can come out. And God bless them if they can make it. I think it's our friend Jackson Schnelling from Indiana was on The Voice, and he won the first round. Reba McEntire loved the guy. He lost the second round, but still, he got on television.
Yeah,
he got his name out there. So I think that's very cool. Another birthday I forgot to mention. Let's not forget Glenn Frey, formerly of the Eagles. Sally Field, the Flying Nun, 76 years years old. And my good friend Jimmy Vegas, Jimmy Martinkowski, celebrating a birthday. Also, happy anniversary, 18 years to Judge, former Judge Sam Aramonte and Dina. Congratulations, 18 years of marriage. We are coming to the end of the hour. Carol, anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
You know what? I just want to say thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored. I appreciate it because I do love your show, and I think the world of you and your wife and your friends, because I try to make it out as much as I can. The last time I came out, I needed a night like that so badly. And when Jerry Jam started playing the old school like house music or the mixes, I just came unglued. I didn't even care. It was it's such a nice night out wherever you are. And
you got to come on. You got to bring Bobby out there with you one night. I think that would be very, very cool.
It's hard to get out with that store sometimes, but at the same
very
time,
difficult.
Yeah.
Carol Brandolino's Encore Music Center, 700 West Jefferson Street, Suite 3 in Sherwood, Illinois. We got to do this again, Carol. Absolutely.
I would love to. Anytime.
Be very, very cool. Real fast, let's get to our sponsor, last sponsor again, our good friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place, Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, Warrenville. Take advantage of the auto key programming at all their stores. They program car cut keys up to 50% less than the dealership. Visit their helpful hub to speak to a certified team member and download the Ace Reward apps. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. Ace is the place. And remember, they've been helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Folks, tomorrow night will be at Capri in Downers Grove. In the Doubletree Hotel. Thursday will be at Eddie Merlot's in Warrenville, Naperville area. Friday, Chicago Prime, and Saturday will be at the Rivers Casino for a private event. Other shows coming up. The Oceans Rat Pack will be at the Lyric Blue Island on the 9th of December. Holiday show will be at Carriage Greens December 15th with Oceans Rat Pack. Will be at Bellagio on Saturday, November 18th. And let's not forget, folks, New Year's Eve. No plans on New Year's Eve, folks. We will be in Munster, Indiana at the Performing Center of the Arts with Oceans Rat Pack. That's going to be a lot of fun for New Year's Eve. Carol, thank you so much for being on. You and Bobby are always the best. And thank you. And remember, guys, Brandolino's Encore Music Center. Buy local, shop local, go there. Support the mom and pa establishment.
Yes.
That is America. Stop the stuff online. Go to the store first. Meet the guys. Meet Bobby. Meet the people, the teachers there. Teach the kids the music. Buy some instruments. Do something, right?
Do something. Raise your kids, for heaven's sake. So Jack and Coke, then? Is that how you start the regimen?
No, Jack on the rocks. Forget the Coke.
Oh, shoot. Oh, God. Okay. You're going to have to get me earlier.
Carol, something I'll let you guys know. If when you're a drinker, that the reason why you get a hangover is not because of the booze. It is the mix in the booze. If you're drinking Jack and Coke, it's the sugar in the Coke that gives you the hangover.
So ice is going to be my mixer. Ice.
There you go.
Okay.
That's going to be it. Well, thank you, Carol, for being on so much. I appreciate it. Let's do this again. I really want to do it. I had a great time, guys. Remember, buy local, shop local, support live entertainment, support local establishments. Please, and remember the great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love. We need peace now more than ever. We need to do the right thing when November 2024 comes. Let's make America great again. And I want to thank you all. Remember, tomorrow we'll be back here at 12 o'clock noon. Our friend Robin Culler will be on. And then, of course, Thursday, the great Laura Ocean will be joining me. I know what you guys all love her, and I'm excited that. Guys, you guys have an incredible. Mama D says goodbye, everybody. God bless Mama D. And Nick Sahajas, the piano man, take us out. Bye-bye.
Time to go, it's the end of the show. See you later from Tony O.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Carol, God bless you. Say hello to Bobby for me.